Addiction and Dependency. It is simple enough to say that we should differentiate between a short-term pleasure and long-term pleasure. Investing in health is working for long-term pleasure, but in reality, we are fond of many things, and the modern world provides us with much of that we must resist at least much of the time. We are addicted to various things which we know are bad for health. I don't say that you can't have some short term pleasure in your life. If unhealthy pleasures are restricted to once a month and balanced with exercise and yoga, you don't suffer from unhealthy pleasures that much. Serious addictions might need to be got rid of sooner than later. It is ironic that we as humans, who have such a fondness for freedom from control, are so commonly addicted, dependent, or habituated to various substances or activities. Serious addictions deprive one of health, wealth, family, friends, status, and everything. Even dependency on less damaging things makes us less able to live freely. Even coffee, computer games, or exercise shows the tendency of humans to limit themselves rather than free themselves. Initially, many of these habits don't seem to be harmful and give some pleasure. Addition, Addiction can start in so many ways. Sharing with a friend just for fun. Somebody is offering it for free out of grief or sorrow, but no matter how they start, they all end similarly. It is certainly better to avoid addictions in the first place. If one has already become addicted or even habituated to anything, stopping must be given priority without hesitation. One may stop directly, but there can be severe withdrawal syndromes which need aggressive management. Another safe way is gradual detachment from the addiction. It requires firm determination for a long period, either one-fourth partial reduction for first group or 1/16th part reduction for the second group is to be adopted for the daily consumption. Supposing one is smoking 16 cigarettes a day, on the first day he/she should satisfy with 12 group 1 or 15 group 2 cigarettes. Next day again he may have 16, third day 12 or 15, fourth day 8 or 14, fifth day again 12 or 15, sixth day 8 or 14, seventh day 4 or 13, eighth day again 0 or 12, eighth day onwards no smoking for first group and 12 for second group. The second group will of course require more days to get free from addiction. The process can be made slower by increasing intermittent days to 2, 3, such as first reduction of 1 day can continue for 2 to 3 days and so on. Philosophy or religious binding can help to a certain extent. If you have a guru or a teacher, consult him and follow his guidelines. I often use a trick of blackmailing people through sentiments and feelings. If the person has a kid, remind the person of the imitating nature of kids. Kids are unaware of the good or the bad effects. They try to imitate their parents, even unknowingly. So the parents carry the utmost responsibility to behave properly. I ask the parents to keep a photograph of a child in their pocket and first have a look at the photograph before smoking and drinking. They should remember the imitating habit of their children and then only make a decision for smoking or drinking. This emotional blackmailing does help in some people to get de-addicted. At least initially, they try to avoid smoking and drinking in the presence of children. But in later stage, this may not be sufficient for getting de-addicted. If you are in a company of good people, there are chances that gradually you can be de-addicted. The well-known Pandurang Shastri Athavale, through his Swadhyay Parivar, has helped many fishermen for getting de-addicted. Thus, he has restored many families to normalcy. But then, if you are unable to control by yourself, at least you should try to seek help or get engaged in some good work of your liking so that you forget at least for a while about the addiction. Later on, by gradual practice, you can get de-addicted in reality. The social conditions you play a vital role. Social conditions also play a vital role in getting de-addicted. If the parents are rich but are so much involved in their work, they don't pay any attention to their children. Due to the guilt of not giving time for or attention, they try to compensate with surplus money being given to the children. The teenagers by themselves or in the company of bad friends take advantage of extra money and become victims of addiction. Here the parents have to go to the root cause and should rectify it by giving time to the children. If the children develop faith in their parents, even if they confess about their mistakes in front of parents, they can become de-addicted in an easier way. But generally, when the parents come to know about the addiction of their teenage kids, their first reaction is anger, and without understanding their own role, they just try to keep a control over children. And if there is no trust from both sides, the situation worsens and goes beyond control. As contrast to this, the lower economic class has its own philosophy. The person feels that though he is trying to earn at his best for himself or for family members, the amount is still insufficient in comparison with rich people. As a result, he becomes despaired and distressed and gets addicted. Though initially he forgets his sorrow, ultimately he starts spending even more on his addiction, which worsens the situation. So the appropriate way is the proper analysis of the situation and acceptance of one's own mistakes for one's own benefits. But then egoism plays its role and we ourselves start arguing with ourselves that we are not at fault. One has to overcome the situation and think in the proper way to come out of it. The help of other good people should be taken wherever necessary. The spread of addiction is done by certain people who want to become rich in a short while by making people addicted. Actually, the tendency to earn money in this way should be stopped. If by any means we are able to create a control over this tendency, it will save the whole world. There are so many things which give you money without making any harm to an individual or to the society. Of course, this is not a cheaper or easier way, but this all depends on the culture and the teacher. The ancient Indian system of education called as Gurukula system is the best to educate children in good culture. With an ideal guru, there are no chances of getting deviated from good things or idols. We need to revive this ancient Indian Gurukul system. No fees were charged to the student in this system. Students, out of their capacity and respect, would offer something to Guru in the form of Guru Dakshina, and the Gurus used to be satisfied with that. Rich and poor, both kinds of students were handled in the same manner by the Guru, so there was no chance of comparison, isolation, or stress. The culture of helping others was implemented in the system itself, and with this firm foundation in the initial part of life, the person becomes a very good civilian and benefits the society. Now, with a commercialization of education, we feel that we buy education for our children, and this attitude continues even in young age. No doubt they develop the commercial angle and try to find out ways for easy money. Morality has to be inculcated since childhood. Teachers and parents are idols for children, and they imitate them even without understanding anything. If the father or mother is a smoker, how come the child will refrain? So, charity begins at home. So, addiction is a big social problem itself and is a burden over the medical profession as well as the society. As it is very well known that prevention is better than cure, we should pay serious attention to the problem of addiction and save especially the younger generation from getting addicted. That is going to be a great service to humanity. To summarize, 1. Addictions are most dangerous which deprive one of health, wealth, family, friends, status and everything. 2. Prevention is better than cure, so we should pay serious attention to the problem of addiction and save especially the younger generation from getting addicted. That would definitely be a great service to humanity. Changes in the lifestyle have been so rapid that we didn't even notice them. As a society, we have chosen to sacrifice our health to adapt to the modern world. Meal timings, choice of food, and moderate consumption of different tastes like sweet, sour, etc. should be given due attention. The work schedule should not hamper the meal timings or rest period. Change in work with variety in nature is not that troublesome. Never, newer kinds of jobs like BPOs, etc., have altered the working schedule, inviting ill health. Sleep is the best restorative, rejuvenator, and an immunomodulator if taken at the right time, night time, and in the right quantity, about 6 to 8 hours. Sex is also an important aspect of life and this need urgent, serious attention as the society is worsening day by day. falling prey to various advertisements in the electronic and print media.